We live in a world where everyday battles are fought. Well, sometimes these battles are felt by millions across the world. That's what I'm going to talk to you about in these few minutes. But first, tell me, what do these people have in common? Famous? Yes, but that is not all. They all share a common neurological disease known as epilepsy, which is vastly underfunded and left in the dark. Now when I say epilepsy, you're probably thinking of convulsing on the ground, eyes, tongue rolling back, and a strange, almost choking sound. Well, you're not wrong, but that is only part of the truth. Tonic-clonic, also known as the grand mal, the seizure which I just described, is only one of 9 seizures. And while these seizures, they may not be as well known, but they still have a devastating impact on the victim. In these seizures, they can simply range from staring away, which can be perceived as daydreaming, to doing mindless repetitive tasks. But what are the chances of getting it? The chance you or someone you know could end up developing epilepsy? Well, 1 in 26 people will end up developing epilepsy sometime in their life. 1 in 100 are currently living with it. No amount of hard work or careful planning will prevent it. This disease does not discriminate. But why not take some kind of medication with it? There is, of course, no magic pill, but there are plenty of medications. Well, these medications, sometimes they just don't work for people. They can work differently for others, and sometimes these medications will come with a trade-off. Weight gain, memory and speech impairment are some, but it can be more severe. Depression, severe rash, and inflammation of organs are also known. But what about surgery? Surely this is something that's come to mind at this point. Well, for the surgeons to operate, they need to pinpoint the exact location where the seizures originate from. And this can be extremely difficult, and sometimes they can't find it, making surgery not an option. But if they do find it, good. Maybe they can go ahead and remove a piece, but sometimes there's, of course, a trade-off. Just like the medications, this can be anything, and it can be as severe as partial paralysis. And sometimes, even with the surgery, nothing may change. But what if somebody has a seizure around you? Do not be afraid to act. Make sure you give them plenty of room and make sure they can't hurt themselves on anything, and time it. Because if it lasts for more than 5 minutes, make sure you get an ambulance. And if it is a grand mal, do not try and restrain them or put anything in their mouth, because it is physically impossible to choke on your tongue. By putting something in their mouth, you create the risk of choking. And make sure you're there when they finish, and make sure you tell them what happened. But what can you do to help? Donations are always needed for funding, and doing research, even if it's just a little bit, is wise. But something you can do, something everybody can do, is talk about it. Go talk about it with your friends, your family, but making sure other people know about it is something you can always do. Because epilepsy will not go away on its own, and it will require us to battle it every step of the way until it is defeated.